So Social Security is in trouble. I think we can all pretty much agree to that. A lot of things going on out there right now that we're hearing about, some fraud and some other situations, which not everything's been made clear. So I'm not going to make any more accusations beyond the fact that there's issues. We know people were collecting that probably shouldn't have been. They might have been paying out in different ways, but the real fact of the matter is that if Social Security is really in trouble, which I believe it is, and most people do agree, it hurts everybody, because those of you that are younger than us, in the younger generations, you're still paying in to this system that's probably broken. And by all information we have, by 2033, your regular payment's going to drop down to 79% of the actual value that you're supposed to get. So if you're supposed to get $1,000, you're going to get $790. That's just make it easy math. And those are the actual benefit numbers. So you've been paying in all these years, and you're not going to get back anything that you've got into it. So one of the things we have to consider is, how do we live without Social Security? And I think the smart money would be to plan on it not being there, because unless they make some radical changes, it's not going to be there. And right now, and I've reported on this before, the median 401k is only $80,000 of saved money. And if you're in trouble already, if you still think you're going to, if you have 10 years or more to go before you can actually take retirement, because Social Security in 10 years, there's only 8 years till we hit that 2033 number. So if you're in your 50s and you're planning on retiring in 10 years or more, it may already be insolvent, or you may only be getting 79% or less of what the actual value of your sources are. And so I think one of the things we need to do is that we need to plan on it not being there. And I think we'd all feel better if we didn't have to count on Social Security, right? But the troubling circumstance is this, is that you've got to save a whole lot more than you're saving. I need to save a whole lot more than I've got saved. If I wasn't closer to the number than some, I'd really be worried about it. But at this juncture, because I'm going to retire and probably start taking my Social Security in 2 years, so that I can at least get as much out of it as I can from 62 on, maybe 63. I'm going to get some of that money before the numbers change. So, but you're going to need millions, is the experts' opinion. I heard a couple of folks that are in this area of expertise talking about how, it used to be people would make videos on even having $1 million in retirement. It really wasn't that big of a deal. It was plenty. You didn't have to worry about having 1 million. I think I've made a video similar to that, and that was based on the information that was out at the time. But some of these experts are now backtracking, saying you need double what we thought. You need 2 million. You need 4 million. Because we're not even considering depreciation or depreciation of our dollar, inflationary measures. We're just talking about what it's going to cost to live. And the real-time number comes down to this, that if you need $1,000 a month, for every $1,000 a month you want to have in retirement, if you count only on your 401k money, you need $240,000 in the bank to make that happen. That's the minimum. So if you want $4,000 a month, you need 240 times 4, 1 million basically. If you want 5,000, you're at $1.25 million. Well, that doesn't include inflationary pressures against your money. And you know what? Inflation hits us all, okay? My dollar is not worth any more than your dollar just because I'm going to be 60. It's irrelevant. These inflationary measures hit everybody hard. The cost of housing hits everybody hard. Somebody had commented on one of my previous videos that, the fence in my background looked really nice because, I'm talking from my fancy property with my fancy built-in fence. That fence is for the apartment building we rent in Florida because we can't afford to buy down there either. And that's the simple facts. So how do you avoid all these things? Well, one, you need to start saving more. If you've got plenty of time left, if you're in your 40s, you have plenty of time to try to make adjustments. The hard part of this is going to be that you need to, some experts say save double what you've already planned on saving. So if you're saving $1,000 a month now, you got to find a way to save $2,000 a month to even get close. That's going to be tough for anybody, especially when middle class income is only 80 grand. So unless you're making exorbitant amounts of money, it's pretty hard to save more than what you already do. The second workaround for that would be you need to adjust your budget and to make these changes possible. Whether that means now you start to eliminate the money eaters that I've talked about before, expensive cars you really don't need, and motorcycles or ATVs or snowmobiles or boats, campers that you hardly ever use, whatever the situation might be. They are eating your money. That's money you could be saving. If you're not getting true joy out of them, you're not using them, consider possibly getting rid of them. And then that way you can save more money. I'm not saying get rid of your entire lifestyle to try to save for retirement, but if you don't plan better, your chances aren't any better. And then, of course, be smart with the money you do save. Make sure you're, at least counseling with a certified financial planner. Try to put your money in the safest spots to make some bang for your buck, and also to be conservative enough that it's not going to disappear with every market fluctuation. You don't want that either. A lot of people are struggling with that right now, and that's not a situation any of us like to be in. And then one of the other things I would recommend you think about is possibly doing a side hustle of some kind, whether it's Uber Eats, whether it's Uber period, especially if you're going to go into retirement and you don't want to necessarily quit altogether anyway. I plan to work when I leave this state and get to Florida full time. I'm going to find something to do, even if it's just part time, to add to my income sources. And there's lots of ways to make that happen. That way I don't have to worry about using all the sources I do have coming in to pay bills. But there's a lot of very senior friendly companies out there that like gals like us that have experience, that have got customer service background, know how to deal with people. There's the Lowe's, the home improvement stores are really big with hiring seniors to some degree, as long as you're capable of giving out good advice and you got some information and you got a skill set you can share. But if nothing else, I had a family member recently got hired at Lowe's just to be a cash register person, and that's fine too. Pays pretty good, and she's happy. She can do it part-time with her other part-time job to make her ends meet. And she's in retirement age already. She's up above 65. So she's already found out that Social Security is not going to be enough for her. So a lot of things to consider. Don't give up your dreams, but you need to think about what's happening and plan better. Okay? Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Leave a comment if you got a suggestion or some outcomes that you've gone through. I appreciate it. And consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps the channel, helps spread the word to those that are curious and want to learn a little bit more as we continue to learn together. Thanks.